All right. Good afternoon, everyone, for joining. I can see we have different persons joining from different parts of the world. So we won't waste too much time. We just have to give time for others who, okay, for others who connected a bit late. So I'll ask that if we're not speaking, we can put our mics on mute so that once it's time to speak, then it will be easier. So we won't waste too much time. We'll go just right into the business of the day. It should be we should be done in another 45 minutes or maximum 1 hour. And so the first part is just a brief introduction about what we're doing in 5 minutes. And then I'll take another 5 minutes to talk about the bio of the faculty members for this particular course and also the school itself and a partnership. And then in 10 minutes, we're also going to be talking about what to expect in the program itself, the Masters in Sustainable Development and Environmental Management. And then we'll close the day with talking about the local partnership we have in Nigeria and also the links to the course registration. And to wrap up, finally, we'll open the floor for questions and answers that we may have. So just as a background, this school, the school in charge of this program is Paris Graduate School, PSG, PGS, and it's a licensed and accredited institution here in France with respect to higher education degrees. Currently, just because of the pandemic, which we're all aware about, most of the degree courses or programs in the school have been shifted online. And so we're going to be having this same program online till further notice. And also in partnership with Paris Graduate School, 3P Maths is also a joint collaborator with respect to this program, a master's in sustainable development and environmental management. And so what's 3P Maths? 3P Maths stands for policy planning and public sector management for results. So the 3Ps you see is focused around policy planning and public sector, and the MARS stands for management for results. And 3Ps Maths is a think tank, a non-profit headquartered in France with a vision to become the #1 when it comes to knowledge management in Africa. And what do we mean by that? This is focused on MDR, management for development results, and also result-based management. And the entire idea is to leverage on public-private partnerships, on research, on training, to be able to galvanize on how to achieve the sustainable development goals in the African polity. And so 3P Maths in partnership with the Paris Graduate School combined forces together to be able to set up this special masters in sustainable development and environmental management program. And without further ado, I would just like to touch on two faculty members who are going to be driving this program, because some of us would like to meet them. They are going to join us and they're going to speak, but I would just like to touch a bit on their profile. So here we have, I hope we can all see my screen. We have Dr. Aderemi Oladele. Dr. Aderemi Oladele is an international development expert focusing on development policy, governance, public sector management, Africa's geopolitics, and multilateral diplomacy. He currently works full-time as a senior research and policy officer at the Permanent Delegation of Nigeria to UNESCO in Paris. And this is where he coordinates multidisciplinary research, policy analysis, and advisory in UNESCO's focus areas on education, natural science, social and human sciences, culture, communication, and information. He has also published policy and scholarly reference articles on sustainable development. Dr. Aderemi is also focused on Africa's geopolitics and political economy, results culture in international development and institutional management, and also works with respect to linkages between international development policy and also national and local developments. He's the founder and lead analyst at 3P Maths, a non-profit international think tank focused on capacity building and knowledge management for development effectiveness, with a special mandate for Africa, as already explained. He's also a member of the management board of SDG AIA. SDGI stands for SDG Africa Independence Assessors. He's also a member of the International Advisory Board of APGC, an international think tank of global ethics and Development based in Ottawa, Canada. Dr. Oladele serves as a visiting associate professor of international studies, or he served, sorry, in the Faculty of Social Sciences at the National Open University in Nigeria from 2014 to 2016. And he's also one of the major faculty for this master's program. Also, we have on the call to this afternoon, Professor Christina D'Alexandro, who is responsible for territories and sustainable development at the French Conseil National d'Information Statistique, INSEE. And she's also an associate professor at Sciences Po Paris Executive Education in France. She's a member of the Center on Governance of the University of Ottawa in Canada, also a senior research fellow at the Research Center Prodigue at Université Paris-1 Panthéon-Sorbonne, France, and an honorary associate professor at Riara University in Nairobi, Kenya. She's an economic and political geographer with over 20 years of teaching and research experience in prestigious institutions around the world, such as Sciences Po in Paris. She serves as an international consultant with various organizations and institutions, including the World Bank, the AFDB, that's the African Development Bank, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA. And so this is to help you understand that you're signing up, or you'll be signing up for a program where development practitioners will be bringing both field experience and also real life experience to class. And so for those of you who are interested and wondering, beyond the theoretical framework around the course, this course will obviously be more practical because development practitioners will be the ones taking you throughout the modules. And so without further ado, I would like to call on Dr. Aderemi, who is also a faculty member, to take us through the curriculum and most importantly, the knowledge frameworks that you would be gaining by signing up for this master's program. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Aderemi, over to you, sir. Your mic is on mute, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm personally happy to see all of us here who are interested in this program. And to start with, well, I will thank Abiodun for that introduction. Yes, the program has been conceived jointly by the Paris Graduate School and Three Peace Mass International, as we said. And the approach is that we'd like to give participants and students a complete program that is designed to deepen your knowledge and to, incite the student to be an actor in sustainable development and environmental management. Yeah, what do I mean by that? Well, talking about the conception of the program, we have the students in mind, the aspirations and what is around international development and how sustainable development is shaping global development landscape, and how we can, as teachers and students and prospective actors in both local, national, and international development, can use the knowledge to impact our immediate environment. So the program matches multidisciplinarity, but with you in mind, your specific profession. And talking about that, it is good to emphasize that the framework of sustainable development itself has brought a form of interdisciplinarity to development practice. So the students that we'll be having, we know that they're coming from diverse background, whether you are into the field of cultural innovation, education, business, science and technology, or perhaps you are an urban planner. The program is designed to match what the expectations are for your future career development. That is, as you mind your career, as you focus on your specialty, you acquire a new knowledge that will help you to manage the interdisciplinary aspect of the everyday life that you will be encountering in your work. with a specific mention of sustainable development. And talking about that, I would also like to emphasize that the program will equip you, if you decide to join eventually, with the ability to approach problem solving from the point of view of what today's notion of sustainable development is. Now, the world of development in today's notion, I used to say it all the time, and I've made a lot of research on it, that international development today, the word international should be put in quotes, because the local context of activities has come to draw a thin line between what is done at the international level and the results that we expect to see in the local level. So if you're a professional, for example, and you work in the field of water sanitation or water management or agricultural development, yes, there are policies that are made at the international level, well, within the auspices of the UN, and you see the framework of sustainable development and the Agenda 2030 for sustainable development comes into this to regroup an holistic aspect of what you do. Now, you'll be able to take from the sustainable development goals and the targets they were there to apply it to your work and what is expected as a result. And the SDGs themselves, Biado said it earlier, that Pre-Christmas and Paris Graduate School conceived this program because we want to develop a set of future leaders that are result-focused. And the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development itself is a result framework of international development. That is why, whether you work on peace and security, whether you're working on the water management that I just said now, you'll find the relevance of your work and how you can impact your immediate environment. Now, that is the concept of the program. Now, as far as the context is concerned, the main purpose is to see how international development and policies influence local results. And this is why the selected students, those who will participate at the end of the day, will go back being actors. Apart from enhancing your knowledge of sustainable development, you are going to be an actor in your field. In solving problems, we want to propagate the results culture. And it is part of the curriculum. By the time I'm just going to, the next item is to go through the content of the program. And if you look at it, the way it is conceived, we have put the essentials of sustainable development and environmental management together, and they're specially selected to make sure that even if you don't have any knowledge at all of sustainable development, or you have limited knowledge, by the time you finish in the 15 to 18 months period, you are already equipped with the right knowledge that you need, and with the instrument that you can deploy from the knowledge that you have acquired as you go about your business. And I want to also say that in the course of the work, many of the students will also discover new skills, and they may want to re-specialize. And this we have done, conceived because having all this in mind. Now, so the content takes from the origin, the definition of sustainable development, and the fundamentals and the core subject with a sequence and a systematic knowledge impartation process that give consideration to the diverse background of the students. So you're going to have both the theoretical knowledge and the practical approach to doing things. Now, it's going to be an online, as we have said. It's an online course for now, even though there is provision. Once the pandemic is over, people who want to come to France to study can actually do this. But In the context, till further notice is going to be online, and we have conceived it to actually give consideration to the agenda, whether you're working, whether you're a full-time student or you're a part-time student. It has been conceived to take into consideration that you have a flexible plan. Yeah. Depending on the number of registration that we have, there could be group or individual courses, but the faculty members they'll be available. They are reachable 24/7, by email, Skype, what do you call it now? FaceTime. We're going to, when you log in, when you register in the portal, you will see all this system of communication that has been put in place. So it is easier for you. You can read the faculties. And I believe that the Paris Graduate School has the core competence that you need to actually get this knowledge across to you. Now, the course is conceived to have 7 core course units. And this is what I was saying when I said, yeah, they are multidisciplinary in their approach, but they are put in context, your specialization, your diverse background. So it fits into what you need to have an applied knowledge so that you can actually apply it in your professional or, further knowledge. And you see, if you decide to go for a PhD afterwards, it is also relevant. And because it is research-based and assignment-based, all this, you will get details later on. And I know you might have questions concerning that as well. Now, the first course unit is the research methodology and protocol, because we want our students to have a solid background so that when you leave this place, you're not only equipped with the practical knowledge, you can also pursue research further. So it tells you what is the approach and how the assignments that you're given will be rated and marked. Then the second course unit is on the concept of sustainable development itself. How is it conceived? What is the history? How has it evolved over the years? And we're taking it even from the landmark of 1972 of the UN Conference on the Environment and Development. So all this thing you will see, because to really grasp the concept, I believe and we believe it is important to have a complete background of that subject. So, and the third one is on ethics. Ethics is what makes the difference between the everyday way of doing things and what has changed over the years. How are we giving consideration to the environment in the business dealings, and how is corporate social responsibility matching companies' business ethics and business etiquette and the pursuit of profit? Because this is one of the issues that sustainable development had come to address. The third one, now we're going deeper, is environmental management, saving the planet. How can you be an actor? What are the things you need to do? How does it apply to your profession? And because it is a practical approach, there's going to be group work, there's going to be assignments, where we're going to be talking about, business approach, non-profit approach, the social innovation approach to environmental management, and how this applies in the overall vision and the overall objective of achieving sustainable development. And then the fourth one is the social corporate social responsibility. We all know this. This is really where those who are working in the corporate world can get ideas and on social innovation to improve business ethics and sustainable development, innovation thinking and inclusive and green business models, and then sustainable operation and supply chains. These are things that are problematic here in UNEP, for example, because I work within the UN. In UNEP in Paris, the department that is in charge of, clean supply chains and sustainable supply chains is actually based in Paris, and I've had the occasions to consult for them some times ago. And one of the things they focus on is how do you apply sustainability throughout the supply chain. So these are things that we're going to be exposing this student into. And the last on that module is the sustainability reporting, because when you do it, you have to report it right. And reporting it right is actually a requirement from different UN policies and all that, because, you know, not to monitor companies, but to make sure that they are compliant with the Sustainable Development Regulations. So you're going to be getting insight to all this, and we believe that it will deepen your knowledge. So wherever it is, whatever career that you want to choose at the end of the day, we know that it can apply to you. Now, the fifth one is education and sustainable development. Now, this is this has two aspects, because there is the aspect of educating ourselves. You know, how is sustainable development applicable to school curriculum from primary to the university level? And what are we doing about policies in environmental education, be it for children, for adults, for school kids, and how does it apply to you as a practitioner or as someone who is going to apply sustainable development to your practice in the future? Remember, we said before that sustainable development now has put on a multidisciplinary dimension. So before, you know, in 2015, when the set of SDGs were conceived, one of the concern was that the MDGs, which was the predecessor global goal, had no consideration for certain aspects. Before, we had three pillars of sustainable development. You have the economy, the ecology, and the social aspect of it. But in 2015, there was an holistic review. In fact, it was the first time that the UN had a wider consultation. And before then, there was even an African common position on what would be the next global goals on sustainable development. So it came to fore that development is holistic, it is intertwined, and it must be taken as such. And actors also must be aware of this. And one of the things is that we need to educate ourselves. And how do we go about it? Development education, that is, how is sustainable development applying to your own field of development? Because even businessmen now are into development. A lot of things are going on and around us, and there must be consciousness that the world needs to live more sustainably. Now, we'll be talking also here on the UN Framework for Action, Global Citizenship, and the future of ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. What is the expectation for tomorrow? How will education look like tomorrow? And what is expected of teachers, of parents, of professionals that will be driving tomorrow's business? So these are the things. So that's the fifth course unit. I know the sixth course unit. And the seventh one is your final research. Your final research, which is going to be based on your expectation. It's going to be based on your final decision on what you want to focus on at the end of the day. Now, before then, there is a unit that is actually focused on Agenda 2030 for itself. You know, how it is conceived and what is the coherence and inclusiveness. You see, the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, when it was conceived, as I said earlier on, was an agenda, according to the UN, that should leave no one behind. Now, what made the difference then was we used to have a global goal. And at this time, they said, okay, we need a universal goal. That is, it is no more a case of developed countries making policies to help developing countries, because poverty exists everywhere, environmental challenges exist everywhere, you know, and the lack of, the knowledge of how to integrate development into all the aspects of, national policies is everywhere. So the SDGs were conceived to cover everywhere. You know, like in France, there is a form of poverty. You know, these days we call some people the 1,000 euro generation. Unemployment is there, you know, whereas we have in Africa chronic unemployment. There are some employment here where people can graduate and you know, you see them doing internship for years, or they're not improving on their salaries. That is the level of poverty. And the SDGs is conceived to address that as well. So every country can go back and take what is fit and how they can apply it. And, you know, talking about the framework itself is multidisciplinary. And we know that these days, ministries that now have to work in an entertaining nature. The Minister of Environment cannot act on its own. There must be some inflow and interflow of actions and policies as it goes. Now, now the ebb and flow of international development, yes, we know that the Agenda 2030 has come to alter the ebbs and flow of international development. One of the factors that I mentioned before is the issue of this global development. That is, we're not no more focusing on international, but the results of the local determine the success of the international. And the last here is the financing for sustainable development. How is it done? What are the things? What are the prospects? If you want to go, you want to do some social innovation projects, how is it done? What is the rapport of the UN organization, and how can the individual benefit from all this? So these are the things that you're going to be learning from there. Now, as I was saying, the final stage is the research project. The research project, as I said, is your final form of project that you're going to do to round up, and for which you will be rated, whether you'll be successful or not. And the way it is that because the course itself is multidisciplinary, what you need to do at the end of the day is to choose which aspect interests you the most, or where you want to specialize on eventually, whether you're a fresh graduate, or if you are already working, or you are a professional, you want to deepen your knowledge in your choosing area, then you want to choose your final research carefully, because this is where you specialize at the end of the day. Yes, you are equipped with knowledge, you have the multidisciplinarity aspect of the sustainable development now in your knowledge bank, but you want to specialize in something. So you can choose culture, for example, if that is your area. You can choose environment, you can choose economic development, you can choose supply chain, you can choose urban management, or environmental management, so to say. So that is that, and the core values that we are bringing. As we have said, the program is conceived between two solid, academic institutions and a think tank. So you are not only going to acquire knowledge, but you will get practical insights. And the faculties, most of us are a combination of academic and professionals. So we work practically. And as you can see, Alessandra and Christina the other time, when our profile was read, you see that she has consulted widely for some organizations, and she's working presently with the French, Ministry of Statistics, where she's actually the lead professional on sustainable development. The same thing with me. I work within the UN, and I've done extensive research and academic work in sustainable development. So this is as far as I want to go concerning the program. We're going to give you both the sound international context and a balanced African perspectives with a touch of local, approach to your work. Now, perhaps Christina might want to say something about, perhaps you want to go deeper into the aspect of environmental management and where it applies to you. And perhaps Abiodun might want to say one as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much to both of you. You have said everything that I guess the people joining us today need to know or want to know, but of course they will be free to ask questions and to dig into more details. Thank you also for the presentation that you give about myself. And yes, I completely agree with what you have been doing, what you have been saying. I would like just to add and to summarize what both of you have been saying, that the SDGs and the 2030 agenda, UN agenda, is a framework and is a necessary framework to know and to master whatever you want to do and to know for your future. So independently of what your background is, your expertise and your experience is, either it is huge or less important if you are young and you're just starting your degree, and independently from what your goal is, either only professional or a goal of knowledge and more theoretical kind of expertise that you want to learn, this kind of degree, this kind of experience can give value added to whatever your prospects and your future wants to be. And I guess as both Abiodun and Remy explain, maybe the unique part of this program is that it is a very flexible program. So it will give you at the same time the practical hands-on for results-based management if you want to work in the policy arena, but it will also give you theoretical background, knowledge management background that you will be able to apply and to use in the various domains that have been listed, from water management to city and urban issues, to energy, to education, or the various backgrounds. Also, maybe what we should repeat, but it's I think valuable for some of you, the three of us. I mean the people that will be teaching through this program. We have an African experience and expertise for years. I have been working in various parts of the African continent since '96, both consulting, as it has been said, but also as an academic, and doing research and teaching in various universities and academic settings in various parts of Francophone and Anglophone Africa. I think it's enough for now. I have even spoken too much. I leave the floor to questions, I guess, Abiodun, or to the final part of the presentation. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today.
Abiodun, you're muted, I think.
Is it better now? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So thank you to both of you for the detailed narrative around the SDGs and this program. Just also touch that the program itself will prepare each person who signs up, to be able to follow a career track in either the private sector or the public sector, or probably also a pseudo sector, which is like the non-for-profits. So faculty, as mentioned, they have experience not just at the policy level with respect to working with different governments and different institutions. So they can bring that to class to help you see how to be able to set up a career path for you if you decide to work with a public agency, whether your home country or out of the country. And also if you would like to probably be hands-on deck and you want to work with private institutions, they've also had experiences consulting from different private companies and also set up different NGOs. So with respect to whatever track you decide to choose, policy level, project level, or even the academia, you want to be part of the research framework and be able to bring to fore, knowledge to be able to advance the cause of sustainable development, you're in the right, framework, you're in the right, on the right boat to be able to have this experienced faculty tailor you to be able to make informed choices. And some of you might probably be able to take advantage of opportunities, at international fronts once you're done with the program. because the class will bring to fore opportunities for development practitioners like yourselves. So without further ado, we'll be going to the Q&A session very soon. But before that, I would just like our local partner in Nigeria, Olari Akinlaja of the OAR&D institution, to give a brief remarks, and then I'll open the floor up for Q&A. So Mr. Dari Akinlaja, over to you.
Okay, I'm very sorry, Biodun. Great. I think I myself should look for a way to pursue something in this. Don't you think so? It's so exciting just hearing the conversations around what's going on here with solid technocrats trying to express to us what we're doing. OAR&D, I think it's basically the learning, research, and development for me. So what's important here for me is the value of quality education, like education you can apply. All right, something you see and is practicable. That's what interests me about this conversation we're having today. That's what OAR&D is basically doing, for your education to be quality, for it to be applicable, for it to be practical. Okay, I like what Dr. Oladele spoke about. Thank you very much. It's good to meet you finally. Thanks so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. The fact that the different aspects of where you can plug in comes in. For instance, as you were talking, I was looking for when you will get to the education part, for instance. so as you were talking, I'm like, oh, where's the education part? And you just went, I know that's how it works out. So I'm thinking, especially for Nigerians, okay, from the conversation of the SDGs, people not even really knowing what it means and how it is valuable to them, So that's part of what I've also been trying to push here. People understanding what it's about. Sometimes people hear development, then they now see environmental part. They're like, what's my business with pollution and air? That bias with, oh, the environment, that's not my problem. I just want development. So, but of course, the concept you have explained now, that it is multidisciplinary. Knowing about it does not mean you must major in it. Okay, so you just understand it and of course find a place where you can major it. So for me, it's massive, it's possible, it's not impossible. It's just getting the information out there in its most practical form for people to be able to understand the benefits of what it entails and how it can be pushed out. The CSR market, Biodo will know this in Nigeria, the CSR conversation is just picking up now. Companies are now beginning to have CSR departments and having people head CSR departments. So this is for people who are along the career path. If you are here, they are actually departments. In fact, the Nigerian Stock Exchange now has a CSR department, for instance. It's amazing that those kind of conversations are already happening here in Nigeria. And of course, I know it can scale to other African countries. So OAR&D on this is just trying to get more, is going to be looking to get more people into this program. We have a cluster of young people because of the programs that we do. Most of our programs are lifelong learning programs, of course, post-university programs. So we have a cluster of young people who are even still trying to define their career path. Okay, so of course, there will be a large plugin from that pool, and I'm sure we will be able to get this done. Just getting the messaging right. This conversation I always had with Biodun about it. Whether we like it or not, I don't like saying this when non-Nigerians are on the call or non-Africans, but how we message our things in this part of the world determines how people get it. So, but I'm sure we'll get it right and just keep tweaking to perfect it. Thank you, Biodun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, I know participants, you have questions with respect to flexibility, how long, the school fees, but whatever it is, it's time now for you to throw your questions and then we'll call it a day from there. But just also mention the recording will be made available, sent to you via email, and also the brochure for the program. And also before the end of the meeting itself, I'll post links where you can follow up to register for the program officially. So if you have questions by show of hands, let me just have you show your hand, and then I call on you to ask your question. So you can just introduce yourself and also what you do, and then go to your question. So by show of hand, who's going first? Questions and answers. Questions, so that our faculty would respect the course. What are you looking at? What's the, I mean, whatever it is, respect to the course. So pre the program, during the program, and after the program. Any questions that you have? So who has any question? Oh, it's quite a detailed. Okay, we have Mr. Johnson Adigun. Please go ahead, introduce yourself, and then please ask your question. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Johnson Adigun. I engage in education and training with teenagers and young adults. I just want to ask about the program fee and how does it work and every information surrounding that. Thank you.
Okay.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Well, for now, we have said that it's going to be purely online, and that gives an advantage on the fee, because first of all, you're going to be doing it in the comfort of your home or wherever you are without having to travel, no expenses apart from connection fee, internet connection fee. And the school fees itself is 1,800 euros, which may be payable perhaps in installment 2 or 3 times. Yeah, and you know, it must be paid before the course commences, before you commence the program. And then just because we didn't mention it before, the flexibility means that you can register anytime. We're going to roll out this September, and the student can enroll anytime. Of course, we like a set of students, and we have up to 10 students at a time. It's the best for us, but if we have only 1 student, we're good to go at a time, you know. Because it's distance learning, and we applied strict principle of distance learning with good, you know, checking method, and you know, and the way of, you know, continuous assessment that is really, really standardized, so that you have quality education and you are really imparted knowledge at the end of the day. So that's that. Thank you.
Okay. So any other question? We're going to spend. Oh yes, please go ahead, sir. So,
sir, when you say 3 times before, it's 3 times before, not 3 times during.
Well, you see, if you have that concern that you cannot pay at the same time, we believe that the fee is reasonable enough for now. Yeah, we can give you up to a time, you know, perhaps say 3-4 months into the program. It has to be done, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Before we get into the main flow of the program, so it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other question? So we have a question for the fee already sorted. Any question regarding any part of the program, duration, or anything else by show of hand? Do we have anyone else who has a question? Okay, maybe just to touch also in case regarding the flexibility of the program too, I'll just also share my screen just in case anybody else. Here it's stated that the program obviously will run for 18 months. So it's flexible. So you could take your personal break, but the whole span of the program is 18 months. So so at your own pace, it's going to be online. So the most important thing is that within 18 months, it must be completed. That means you must have taken the entire classes and as well as the final projects. So, and that's flexible. So however you want to play around those months, it's up to you, flexible at your own pace. Just in case anybody's already thinking, okay, how long and how will it suit my own personal professional work or everyday work? So this is what I'm touching on here. So that's the program duration.
Yeah. I'm talking on that, Abiodun. It's good to also mention that for each of the modules that I mentioned, it is research and assignment based. And each module, apart from the module 1, that is research protocol and methodology, which attract no credit score, but it is compulsory. That is for a short period, 3 weeks. You have to read, and then you have a test that certify you that you understand how to comply with the research methodologies and, you know, the citations and all that. Yeah, because we want to make sure that our students graduate with good research skills, and they can proceed further studies if they want to go into the academia, for example. Yeah. So the rest of the modules, each of the modules is to be taken within 6 weeks. And in between, you have up to 4 assignments and a presentation. So there will be a class at the beginning, and then a class at the end, where you can make a group presentation if you have, you know, 1, 2 or more students at the same time, perhaps up to 10 or 20. So we come together and then you present, and then you move on to the next course. And this is how it is planned. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Any other question? Somebody already asked me in private, so I just wanted to say, like, are there scholarship offers? So I thought to mention that the program is already majorly discounted for African students. If you go online and compare the same sustainable development master's program in other universities in the UK, and with the level of faculty express they are bringing on board, you won't see anything close to this price. So it's fully discounted specifically for African students. And so, and that's a challenge to you. If you have a master's program of, this duration, and you have for a cheaper price, please let us know. And with this level of faculty experience, over 20 years, teaching you on how to go around the ropes. So, and that's why most of the participants here are actually African students, because it's deliberately discounted for all of you. Okay, so any other questions before I allow the faculty members probably to say 1 or 2 things, and then we'll call it a day. If we have maybe any last question or comments from anyone who is joining. Okay, so I'm just gonna allow each one take a turn. So I'm gonna allow first Professor Christina to speak. Respect to, she hopes to she's looking forward to seeing you in class after your registration, and allow also Dr. Remy to also speak, and then we'll call it a day. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Christina.
Thank you very much, Abidun. I don't have much to say. I guess we have said everything, and probably questions will come afterwards. But as you say, the recording will be available and will be sent. Contacts are available too. So I'm sure that if you have any other question, you have time and ways to contact us, to reach out to us to ask your questions. We look forward to seeing you in this class, and we hope that you will enroll, because you will gain a great expertise that you will be able to use in the various domains and the various areas and whatever you want to do in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, just to say, like Christina, that we appreciate your presence here, and we hope that it will result into enrollment, because the program itself, as we have said, is valuable to you, and it's our wish to actually raise actors, particularly in Africa, because there we have challenges to upscale approach to development. And just to say also that many of the programs that I have been involved in, this is really specifically crafted for you, with you in mind. And as Abiodun said, it is discounted so that it can be easier for you. And let's take advantage of the fact that it is online as well, so we can do it from anywhere. And we're very happy to see you. I'm personally happy to meet all of you, and I hope to see you in class. Thank you.
All right. Maybe one word from our local partner, Mr. Akinlaja.
Okay, thank you very much for being here. For everyone who's here, thank you. I'm sure we'll be able to we are going to also not stop with this open day. The recording will also be a very perfect advert point in some sense, to be able to send to more people and tell them exactly what the course is about, and tell them the kind of things they're going to be engaged in. And I myself, so maybe I'll be put on the spot too. I need to find a way to push that to engage these great minds that are here. Thank you very much, Professor Jenna. Thank you very much, Dr. Ladele. Thank you very, very much. And we will make a drive to make sure that more people understand the concept and are part of this program. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. So on that note, I sent a link. Thank you so much, everyone. I sent a link just on the chat box now. And those links, you find 2 links directly on the Paris Graduate School website with respect to the application where you can make online. Oh, yeah, you have something to say? Yes.
Sorry. I needed to say this so I can put it in perspective. You said 1,800 euros.
Yes.
So
Baby, sorry, I will number me available.
Sorry, who's that?
So yeah, I already muted him. Sorry about that. Yeah.
So I put it in Google and changed euros to naira. Guys, it is 880,000 naira. That is ridiculous. That is not the price of 1 year in a private university in Nigeria undergrad. Yeah. And this is for a full master's course with international consultants and the rest. So it is heavily discounted. So it's something we should all consider. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dari, for that. Yeah, so already you have in the chat box the link to the program registration and also a link to download the brochure. And then also 2 emails. You have one, executive.pg@parisgraduateschool.org. And then you also have in copy a.oladele@3peacemass.org. So if you have more questions beyond what we've discussed today, please feel free to write emails directly to executive.pg@parisgraduateschool.org, or you can also copy otherwise a.oladele@3peacemass.org. And also after the end of the, before the end of the week, we're going to send you the recording and also the brochure of this event, and also the contact details of our local partner in Nigeria if you want more information about this. So once again, thank you everyone for taking time to join this open day. And we actually look forward to seeing you join the first batch of students for this special master's program in sustainable development and environmental management. Thank you, Dr. Aderemi. Thank you, Professor Christina. Thank you, Mr. Ladari, and everyone was joined.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good
Thank you for
afternoon.
coming.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.